Welcome back, friends. We are in the White Mountains of Arizona again, and we saw some suspicious behavior out in the wilderness, basically. Uh, the dreaded chemtrails. If you've looked up, you've noticed them. Not to be confused with contrails, which are the result of engines or water vapor. They dissipate rather quickly. But we're talking chemtrails today. You see that over there? That was a chemtrail. That was another chemtrail. We saw one guy. Basically, what happened was I saw a pilot doing some chemtrails up in the mountains in the wilderness, and I said, "What's going on?" I decided to send him some source energy. At the same time, Tara asked the lands to bring winds. About 15 minutes later, the winds came, and the trails started to dissipate. So we were happy about that. But one pilot, because I had sent source light to one of these pilots to get him to question what he was doing. And at first he flew straight up into the sky, so his trail dissipated. Then one of them started doing circles. Never seen one do circles before. But yeah, the wind is pushing them out. We think those are real clouds. We think those are fake chemtrail clouds. But we wanted to learn more about it. One thing I wanted to say is that we want more interaction on this series. Rather than telling us or asking us what to channel, maybe try saying, what questions do you have? There are 1,000 questions to ask in the world. I mean, 1,000. There's an unlimited number of questions that we could be asking. So maybe it's better if you ask us what questions you have, and Tara's higher self will direct us to who or what we should channel to get those answers. So we're going to sit down now.
Okay.
Here's Tara. All right, what are we connected to today?
Actually, while I was trying to connect to my higher self and source, which I am, source brought down these blue beings, and I've kind of felt out their energy. They feel pretty benevolent. But that's what was sent down to do the speaking. These and they're like standing in a chevron shape.
Okay, what dimension do these beings reside in primarily?
7 and 11.
Okay, what business do they have on Earth?
They want to be able to open almost like pathways or portals so that each incarnated being here, no matter what form they've taken, can leave if they wish. Not have to stay on Earth if they wanted to go back to their homeland or travel to a different dimension or decide they would like to get reincarnated, but to open up the possibility of choice and not feel trapped.
Okay, so it's sort of like a rescue mission, life raft sort of thing.
Yes, and they're also very interested in particular crystals on this planet.
Which crystals?
The ones that seem to be at the center of the earth. Part of a running program.
What do these beings know about these chemtrails we see in the sky?
They said it's like they're trying to show me, because I like Star Trek, and they were showing me the holodeck. And they said, on your TV show, when the holodeck is malfunctioning, you can see that it's just a holodeck and that it's not what you've programmed into it. And so the purpose of the trails is to keep the energy of the holodeck alive so that there's continuity. People don't see the gaps between what was programmed into it and what actually is the holodeck.
So, in the spiritual sense, they're trying to keep the veil as thick as possible.
Yes.
So, what are they spraying in 3D?
In 3D, it would be at first it was gases, but gases don't have the ability to linger, and there's too much space between the molecules. But with almost like gaseous metals, metal is heavier. Um, you can bond the molecules more easily, almost creating a dome effect. Like they link, creating a net.
Mm. Okay. Um, who in 3D is responsible for this spraying?
There is a group of 3D individuals that have no allegiance to any people or country. Mm, they're the ones, people don't know who they are, and they never will. And it's meant to be that way. People will think that it's their world leaders or the extremely wealthy, but those aren't the people in charge. They're far from it. These people live in shadow.
They're the creators of the simulation?
They're the ones sworn to protect the simulation.
Okay. So, if they weren't spraying, we would see 4D?
Consciousness on your planet has gotten to a point where the vibration has shifted. The 3D focus has shifted. Even those who may not be as connected to their higher selves will still begin to feel their environment, because that is actually what the human being is meant to do, be both a higher dimensional being and a three-dimensional being. And as people integrate into both their halves, their selves as one, as they should have, they can sense their true environment. And and if a collective consciousness senses its true environment and it starts to question, and then the simulation is over.
Does the majority have to question the simulation for it to end?
All you need is an unconscious questioning.
So, it has to be in the collective unconscious?
Yes. In the unconscious is where the 3D and the multidimensional self meet. before ego can consciously try to understand the information coming through. So it is in the unconscious that the majority pays into the understanding.
Okay. What can we do in 3D to help remove these chemtrails?
At the conscious level, which does involve the ego integrating both halves of self, the more you can vibrate at a integrated dual half human, half whatever dimension you reside in, as not everybody is from the same place, to embrace that living in that frequency. Frequency doesn't disappear, it extends outwards, is felt by others, and through these vibrations, whether they be through words, thoughts, action, this is what creates the change. The 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 change can change your 3D environment because it is not the only environment that exists. So any environment in any dimension can be changed.
Hmm. Why did that pilot above us fly in a circle?
Mm, testing. Mm, he wanted to test what happens when these lines that the 3D cells were asked to create and overlap to create the net. What happens if we introduce curved lines? He's heard them talk about it before. He's trying to figure something out for himself. He will be fired. He was not allowed to do that. That equipment does not belong to him. He wants to figure out if the circles are less effective. They were not told why they do what they do, but he has an inclination.
Will sending source love energy to these pilots make a difference?
Everything is vibration and can be felt.
Do the winds help dissipate this net they're trying to create?
The wind is also a vibration, operating at your earthly level, but also beyond. What you call your natural world is also a supernatural world. And humans are not the only ones that have a consciousness to shape and manipulate its 3D environment. Elements, animals, plants, minerals, everything, molecules, have a consciousness and be able to do this.
Do you have a final message for us concerning these chemtrails or anything we've talked about today?
If you believe that they are your enemy, if you place fear into it, disdain, hate, these all carry a vibration into it. These vibrations match the vibrations which they are putting up into your world sky. If you don't wish to have these actions continue, you need to change your actions, your vibration.
Thank you for the information.
Woo!
Welcome back.
Hey, okay. I need more water.
Well, that was eye-opening. I guess pretty much what I thought. I mean, I didn't exactly know. I thought they were just trying to shield us from source energy's light, but they're literally keeping this matrix going with these things. It's the veil.
But it was weird. I could feel the consciousness of everything. Even wind had, well, I mean, we know that, but not everybody knows the wind has a consciousness too. And since the earth is alive, it's like it could, if it doesn't like something, it can do what it wants to change things. And since we live on the earth, as the earth feels like it wants to shift and change, it's affecting us too. It's affecting everything, wind, animals, people. And so earth doesn't want this stuff. I don't think earth wants to be given a facade.
Right. We want to see her in her naked glory.
Yeah.
In her birthday suit. All right, well.
Yeah.
More questions to be asked about this, obviously, in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, that helps us understand it a little bit more, I think. I remember, send us your questions. I think that's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Send us the questions, and we'll figure out who needs to be channeled to answer those questions. Any question you can think of.
Yeah. Excellent.
All right. Well, that's going to do it.
All right. Thanks for
Thank you,
watching.
guys. Bye.
Bye.